I got a question for you, Trev. Do you think an emotionally unstable man would be able to have a successful relationship?
Well, all right. Here's this. I believe that in some rare cases, there's such thing as dysfunctionality being functional, right? Like whereas a perfect example would be like two crackheads together. Us outside looking in, it's wild, but for them, it works perfectly, right? It works perfectly for them. For their lives and for what they want to do, their goals that they set out for each other, which is the next score. It works well. They couldn't do that with anybody else. Probably most people wouldn't be able to pull it up with one of them or the other, but together it works. So it's possible, depending on your counterpart. It becomes more difficult because less and less people are likely to be successful with you. Possible, yes. Probable, not. I don't know if that's good enough, but
Where was he going with that?
say what?
Marcus, where was he going with that one? I know he asked the question, but there's definitely a point to be made on that.
So I'm saying if Tyrese isn't or not, let's not use Tyrese. So if
we gotta use him. We gotta use him. He was in the top.
Yeah, go ahead and use it because that's what you meant. That's what you meant. Go ahead and use it.
I know what you think about.
I could be more specific.
He's sitting there on IG crying. I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about.
Do you? So I asked my wife one time, why do you think we never fought before? And she was like, I don't know. You are really emotionally regulated. I was like, you fought in your previous relationship? She's like, yeah, we fought. I'm like, so why haven't we had a fight? She's like, you don't have emotional highs and lows. It's not a fishing game. I know exactly what I'm getting and where we at with it and the tone I need to maintain and all that stuff. So we just don't have those up and downs like that. It's seeming to me like Tyrese might have a lot of ups and downs, and he might be dealing with some mental no,
it really looks like that.
So
but Marcus, at the same time, remember
in that type of relationship, you can't be the stability emotionally that would be required to maintain a tone. So you would have a woman who naturally contorts to the way you go about things.
You got the gift of gab. Yes. She can really get to you if you.
So guess what, Marcus? Just like you said, you feel like nearly any woman, no matter where she's coming from, is able to be turned into a good woman, right?
Depending on the man. For her.
Right.
I'm not saying if you the man you can do. I'm saying the man for her.
Okay. So is it impossible that can be inverted to where you have a man who has his own set of challenges that just run to a woman who can regulate, right? I'm not saying it's probable, but it's not extremely unlikely. Like a dude can do it.
You're going in and out
because she could bring that out of him. She could bring that out of him, right? So let's say
no, she should not be able.
He has emotional. She might not be able to, but she might be able to. If he has his emotional, if he's emotionally unregulated, right, where he's kind of all over the place, but the woman just might have that level of patience, that level of nurturing that she can just really just okay, cool. I got this and take over the situation. I'm not saying it's advisable to have that type of relationship, but you said, do I think it's possible? And I said, if that were the scenario, then yes.
He can, she can. That scenario is possible, but the thing that's more than likely going to happen in that scenario is she'll lose respect.
And that's what we just saw in the beginning of this whole, live. That's exactly what happened.
So,
because she's gonna more than likely need, if she don't have a good therapist, somebody to vent to that she feels is a rock. And if it's not the husband, that opens a door. If it's a pastor, that's how Brother Jones, the Lord know what I want. In Friday.
So, all right. So, referencing Tyrese, right? What signifies that he's emotionally unstable?
I mean, if you get on
you get on live in front of millions of people and start crying and bugging out. That's not.
I mean, I'm just saying, just. I don't know. It's a different day and age. I get it, but I think he's older than me. So I'm just saying, like, there's a certain like respect that you have for yourself and your family dynamic that you just don't let things and everybody just know what's going on, like in your family. You know what I mean? And I get it. He's a celebrity. I just think that, I just think crying for help and doing all that is, it's just, I've never really seen men like act like that. But
And then it's a lot of people in the industry. Well, not a lot, but I think Jada Pinkett came out and was talking about it. I think what's his name? Charlamagne the God was I could be wrong about this level, but they were talking about how they were rocks for him during his breakdown. It seemed like he had a lot of breakdowns with different people in the industry that had to come to his aid. And I would imagine that you probably had more in your home.
yeah, I
And
mean, again,
and mental health is real. I'm not
yeah,
diminishing mental health at all. I'm just speaking to
yeah. I don't think it's anything wrong with a man showing any type of emotional connection to a situation. I
yeah.
just think like you have emotions, like that's normal human behavior. You're gonna
Hmm.
feel fear, you're gonna feel sad, like everybody has emotions. I think like how you use them, how you display them shows a certain level of like intellect and like understanding around the environment you're in and like who you are as an individual. So I could be sad, but if I go to work crying about what happened, was going on in my personal life and showing everybody that's just not a stable environment, like that's not what I should be doing. Like just I mean, if I go to church crying to my pastor in private, doing what I need to do for myself in my personal life and working on myself, like that's totally different. But I think like when you're just I like to use this term like shitting and pissing your emotions everywhere, people just gotta slip and fall in it, clean it up, like it's just all over the place. I just think that there's just lack of responsibility and like maturity in how you handle your emotions. Like I could be angry at a man, but I don't have to pick up a gun and shoot him or kill him just because I'm angry. Like I could have a dialect or I could just walk away. But if my life is in danger, that's a different story. But I just think how you handle emotions, not saying emotions are bad for men to have, but I just think like, come on now, like we all understand
And
emotional
and
being emotional inept. Like this is me.
And Sweeney, two more things. Two more things. One, that stuff he was doing with DJ Envy's wife, that no emotionally stable man would do that. And
Exactly.
secondly, and finally,
Wait.
he admitted on his own that he was on meds. That would mean that you are definitely emotionally unstable.
Well,
Right.
I was simply just going off of the video to what more do you want from me? But what did he do with DJ Envy
Oh,
wife?
he was trying to.
He said
Yeah,
some
he was trying to
inappropriate
press. He was
stuff
trying
at
to
him.
press his chick. He was trying to press his chick, man. And then he said he didn't do it, but the messages were out there and everything. He was bugging out, man.
he was
Like that's
doing
not something you would do. That was your man's, bro. That was your man's. That's not something an emotionally stable dude would do.
he developed a relationship with his wife as friends, and then start getting jealous when she didn't return his calls on time.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Marcus,
So,
I was just going off of that one video because I don't know. I don't really dig into. I've seen a few times that he has gone live, and he's been the only time I've ever seen any of his videos was when he was talking in reference to his wife or the situation with almost with losing his daughter. Outside of that, I ain't really paid attention to the shit that he did outside of that. But yeah, that sounds pretty goddamn emotionally unstable.
I was gonna say, Marcus, the reason I think one of the reasons why you don't argue a lot with your wife or at all is because you also understand you like put yourself in, the woman's shoe. Like you put somebody yourself in the other person's place. So you kind of already know how she's thinking, how she's feeling, and it's like there's no need to just elevate your voice or whatever, or you're not stubborn or things like that. So it already comes across that way. And back to Trev, you said I'm argumentative. Is that what you said? So do y'all think I was argumentative because I was like, you
No,
know?
I don't think I didn't call you that. Nah.
I know you didn't, but I'm just saying you were saying don't get. I wasn't getting into any arguments, but does that just because you
No, I was I was talking about Sweeney. I was making a joke on Sweeney. He didn't get
yeah,
into any arguments this week because he's good for at least one argument.
one big,
Yeah, I wasn't. Yeah.
one big one. Nah, you not an argument.
right?
No, that was all Sweeney joke.
If you okay, I was just trying to see like if a woman just is like talking, do y'all automatically call her argumentative or uncooperative, or does it seem that way? I was just curious.
For me,
No.
it's tone
Yes. Body
The way
language.
body language, the way she communicating the message, um, how often she's doing. Like, so if she has an issue when she express it, and I'm, we talking about it, trying to get to a solution, and while trying to work towards the solution, you complaining about it more, and
Mhm.
and piling on and nagging and doing all that, like stuff like that.
Yeah, like like constantly being an over complainer. We it's like, why would you be in a relationship that you want to complain about? Like, I think, Marcus and I, we had an agreement a long time ago. We had a live where it's like there really should be no like disagreements and things like there. Like if you are with somebody, you do your process early. You guys do the hard work, and it's ugly in the beginning. Like if you're open to that, then I think like a lot of the disagreements that we do have are just like like it's just personal wants and needs, and it's just like you don't really need those things for the collective to win. So I think the women I've dated, the ones that I didn't work out with, it wasn't necessarily like a thinking outside of themselves in a collective like mentality. Where a man, we default to that, right? Like a man, we gonna always be, willing to pay or willing to do this or willing to do the things that we want to do for our woman. And if we overly like that, we still get in the short end of the stick. You know what I mean? So that's just the way I see it. Like in terms of, a man's never gonna we never just gonna think about ourselves and be in a relationship, especially a relationship as such as marriage and kids and all of that. Like we always gonna think about our children or our wife or whatever. And I think it's easier for women to fall into that, sometimes where they may think about themselves because a man could be overly, providing or overly doing things for her. It's a woman can, fall into that, by default sometimes if she not doesn't really touch herself.
Okay.
I think one of the best examples is like Judge Lantola husband. I don't know if you ever heard her talk about him.
Yeah. Didn't he just
She,
pass?
I think he did. The way she described him was, he was what did she say?
An excellent manager of her crazy.
She pretty much said that he was medication to her. Her
Yeah.
extreme highs and lows, she brought them to him, and he heard what she said, addressed it, and could lower her mood from going crazy or being irate and all those things. She was just saying he was the rock of their family. And the amount of reverence and respect she had for doing, and I don't think he made more than her. I don't think he was like, no, I think he was taller, but I don't think all the metrics that people online talk about he hit. But that one was so strong that the
Mhm.
way she speak about this man, I doubt she'll ever find anybody in her mind that even live up to him. He a giant in her head just by how he held his family down. And the majority of the stuff she was speaking about was from an emotional standpoint and just being regulated and being able to set tones and work with stuff through her.